guest experience will only count when the guest is coming back to you again, right? If if my guest when while checking out says, oh, everything was fine, everything was good, whatever, but that guest is not coming back, that means that there was something lagging in the experience. So for me, a guest experience only validates when he is coming back to you.
In current scenario or in current competitive market, same, we are working in the Wellspun flooring. It is very important for us. The real customer experience is differentiator.
If you are diligent enough to identify that this birth date matches the today's date, you can make good surprises for the customers who are coming to you, and they will remember you. So your royalty increases. If your royalty increases, your profitability increases, and that hence increases sustainability in the market.
Our next session is how to enhance customer experience. For that, I would request our speakers to please join us on the stage. Mr. Karan Singh Sachdev, Managing Partner, the Manor House Boutique Stays. I would request him to please join us on the stage. Mr. Harshal Dilwali, Director and CEO, Clarissa Group. Mr. Gurpreet Singh, Zonal Sales Head, North Residential, Wellspun. I would request all our speakers to please come and join us on the stage, and our moderator, Akansha, to please join us. And one last time, I would request people standing outside, please join us inside. Our session is about to start. I would request our speakers to please be seated according to your name on the wall. So audience, can we clap together? I think we just had lunch and we all are high on energy. Everyone, I would request you, let's clap together and let's begin the session. Over to you, Akansha.
So hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you. आप लोग थोड़ा जल्दी आ गए. तो मेरा first question है सर आपसे कि guest सबसे पहले तो introduction से start करते हैं. आप please थोड़ा अपने बारे में introduction दे दीजिए.
So I'm Karan Sachdev, and we run a hotel company called Sachs Hotels LLP, and the hotel is called the Manor House Boutique Stays, based out of Dehradun, and we also have another property in Mussoorie under the same brand name called Chalet by the Manor House. So that's my background. We've been into this business for about 2 years now, very, very recent. But I've been into hospitality for a very long time, been running restaurants and stuff before that. So please, you can just ask me a question and...
So like I want to ask Mr.
Yeah,
for the introduction.
first of all, I'm very sorry if I'm coming in between you and your post-lunch nap. So, yeah, jokes apart. So, myself is Gurpreet Singh. I've been with industry from last 15 to 16 years. Currently, I am heading in entire North, as in Wellspun flooring. So, from last couple of years, I have a very good experience in the building material, same in the sales strategies and service to building industries.
Yeah, Mr. Harshal.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. I am Harshal Dilwali, Director and CEO at Clarissa Group. So we basically own hotels and resorts. So we are having a resort in Jim Corbett, Mukteshwar, and Goa. So we are 1 decade old company. We are running for last 10 years as a whole, and we try to give the best of the experiences to the customers.
So the topic is guest experience and how to enhance customer experience. So like in your opinion, what exactly is guest experience?
Well, guest experience is actually a very vast, topic where it starts from pre-arrival to even after you've checked out. So, guest experience needs to be taken care of before the guest has even entered your property. In my experience with running the hotels, what I have seen is you need to connect with your guest before he's coming to you, right? So maybe you send like a good pre-arrival message, right? Where the guest knows, where he needs to come, what are the directions, where he needs to reach. So eventually it starts from there, and then of course, we have different stages within the hotel, and within the stay that you have to really take care of while you're looking at the guest experience. I think guest experience will only count when the guest is coming back to you again, right? If if my guest, when while checking out, says, "Oh, everything was fine, everything was good, whatever," but that guest is not coming back, that means that there was something lagging in the experience. So for me, a guest experience only validates when he is coming back to you.
So let me add to Karan's point. See, the good customer experience, it is not about the satisfaction. It's about to build the loyalty, the trust, and the long-term profitability. In current scenario or in current competitive market, same, we are working in the Wellspun flooring. It is very important for us. The real customer experience is differentiator.
You want to add something, Mr. Harshal?
So I feel, customer experience has now totally dependent on the personalization. How much you are giving a personal touch to the customers. And I think so that is more important today rather than giving them, luxury or, marble flooring. But if you're not giving that personalized, experience to the customers in every of your properties, the customer always remains unsatisfied. So taking care of the small needs of the customer or your guest is very important if you're running any of the hotels or resorts.
So how we can take care of it? What are the small gestures?
I mean, I would like to add to that. So one of the small gestures that come to my mind is, for example, there's a turn down service that's happening in the evening, right? So maybe you place a small note, which is, a little personalized note for the guest, or maybe you place like a small local herbal tea, or any Ayurvedic oil, like a small bottle or whatever, right? That actually enhances the experience in terms of it's a very small thing, right? It doesn't really hold any value, but eventually the impact it has on the guest is substantial. So that's one of the examples for personalization, as you asked me. So
Mr. Harshal, what are your opinions on that?
See, what I feel it sometimes, you have to give a local touch to the property. If you talk about us, we are having properties in some exotic locations like Jim Corbett or Mukteshwar or Goa. So all these three locations are totally different. They have different vibe, different geographical locations, different type of culture. So it is not only what Karan Sara said is absolutely right. We can also give them, apart from that is, somebody's having an anniversary. Some people do not, disclose that. So we can make their anniversary a memorable
Make them very
anniversary.
special because make them treat them very special.
Absolutely, and it's they can be birthdays also. I don't know many people forget it when we check in. Being in this industry, we get to know when the person give its ID card, there is a birth date mentioned on it.
Yeah.
So many people miss out that. Right. So if you are diligent enough to identify that this birth date matches the today's date, you can make good surprises for the customers who are coming to you, and they will remember you. So your royalty increases. If your royalty increases, your profitability increases, and that hence increases sustainability in the market.
I think I completely agree with you, and I also would like to add. So when you said that people miss, the birth dates written on the Aadhaar card or whatever IDs that they're giving, you're absolutely correct. I think what really comes into picture is training your team to do that, right? Because eventually the team's going to do that, not us. You have to train them to do that. Also, it's very important for personalization that you train the team that uh, everybody working in the hotel, from housekeeping to F&B to everybody, needs to meet the front office staff in the morning, know who's staying, and make sure that you greet the guest by their last name. So Mr. XYZ or Miss XYZ makes it much more personalized.
So, like, what do you think that social media, is social media setting the bars of because सबको एक personal experience चाहिए होता है, तो social media का कितना बड़ा role होता है, कितना बड़ा impact होता है?
I mean, if you ask me, social media today has become very, very, very cluttered. Uh, Now, in terms of social media, you are talking about various platforms. It's not just Instagram. It's not just Facebook. It's not just LinkedIn. I think it's a gamut of everything that you have to work on together. In terms of social media, I think for a hotel, I don't think it's a. That's my personal opinion. People could actually disagree with me, but I personally feel that social media doesn't really get you business in a hotel industry. But yes, you have to be active. So at least, you are a part of the conversation, or the part of the trend that's there, and maybe through that, you are just being seen and you're not forgotten. That's what my thought is with social media.
Yeah, so I would like to add on this. He's absolutely right in some of the parts. But if you see in an hotel industry, right, uh, it is a very dynamic industry. It keeps on evolving, right? Every 6 months, there are new changes. There are new hotels coming up. There are new concepts. AI has been, evolved a lot in the market. So all these things have a greater influence on social media. If we talk about in past 5 years or 6 years, there were a lot of, sales which were offline. But now the people are now more focusing on online sales, influencer marketing, social media marketing. If we do not also want to, take interest in them, but still we have to as an hotel. Because our business is a show business, right? We have to do the publicity. Jo dikta hai, wo bikta hai. That is the only concept which we have to, put in the market to pull out the customers.
So, Mr. Gurpreet, what do you think that customer का trust और long term relationship का क्या role होता है उनको वापस लाने में?
So, Kansha, this is very, very important, these two words, trust and the relationship. See, this trust and relationship is equal to the higher customer loyalty and retentions. And when I talk about the retention is far better than the new acquisitions. And industry says, if you have a 5% improvement in retentions, it's give you the 90% of your profitability. The trust comes when the customers have a confidence on your brand. The trusted brand make customers secure and valued. The other aspect is the long relationships. If I talk about the long relationship, it is help you to understand the customer needs. And the fourth, I can say, if the customer is loyal with you and stay longer with you, anyway, it is going to give you the profitability and give you the repeated business. And that customers is actually your brand promoter. He will promote your brand if you win his trust and you have a longer relationship with him. So I think these are the basic things which need to be made for trust and relationships.
So, what are the key pointers एक trust को build करने में?
Sir, trust को build करने के लिए for my industry, not for my industry, even talk about the manufacturing and other industries also. So there are simple basic things. I think the quick response. If you're not responding your customers, if he has raised any concern and you're not responding, then you are going away from your customer. If you maybe read in, you will understand from a lot of people, you have maybe listened from a lot of people. If you not take care of customer, someone else. So this quick response is very important in my point of view.
Also, I think I would like to add, sir has absolutely said it right, but to that I think it's, हम किस पे विश्वास करते हैं जो सच्चा होता है. So I think eventually you got to be honest. My trust will be strong in you if you're honest about what you are doing. If you made a mistake, accept it. Don't try to cover it up. There's so many instances when what happens is when we're in a hotel, we're on the other side of the table, and the guest is shouting at you, and you're trying to just cover up, sir, no, we did this, we did that, and trying to tell the person that, no, this is how it's done. For example, you've made a certain dish, and the customer doesn't like it, the guest doesn't like it, and you're trying to explain, no, this is made like this only, and this. There should be a no question asked policy. And that's what we follow also at the Manor House. We have no questions asked. If you don't like it, sir, it's not right. We will redo it for you. If you still don't like it, you can return it back. We can do something else for you. I think that's what creates trust in...
I think so, sir is absolutely right in this part because what our industry always tells us is always listen to the guest. when we listen to the guest, half of the problem, I feel 90% of the problem is solved. Right. Whether he is right or wrong, that is a separate question. Listening to a guest is the main point, and that actually builds the trust. You don't dodge them. You listen to their problems, you then try to solve them. So that is the main thing, which is communication, which is lacking. And somewhat we need to build that. And that can only come if we train our staff in that way, that do not dodge these problems, you know, involve in them and try to solve them. So that is the basic thing which every hotel should, implement in their employees, inculcate in their employees, train them in such a way that they're ready to face those things.
सो लाइक हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम्स बिकॉज ऐसा होता है कि लोग बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर देते हैं इस सेक्टर को स्टार्ट कर देते हैं बट उनको पता नहीं होता कि कहाँ पे उनको चीज़ें ठीक करने की ज़रूरत है तो हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम्स माई क्वेश्चन इज फ्रॉम ऑल ऑफ यू सो लाइक
See, the problem is always there. If you cannot say कि मैंने आज business start करा, it has been a decade and we are not having some problems. The problem comes every day, every week, every month, every year. And the problems may be different, but the main problem is if your problem is same, and that you can only track with the customer reviews, customer feedbacks. So what we have already talked in your previous session is you have to monitor them. If your customer has reviewed something and your reviews having a same complaints, having a same thing repeatedly, then there is a big problem and then you have to intervene in it. You have to check on it. So I think so reviewing part is the main thing right now, and you should not be ashamed of that. You should take the reviews of the guests and you should accept that very gracefully. And now, in this world, we are having so much of technology. We are having AI, we are having CRM softwares, we are having integrated softwares which can, track the patterns of your, complaints or some keywords. Sometimes you might be having a lot of problem in your rooms, right? Somebody says that your room was not cleaned. That is a repeated, customers are reviewing to that. And you are still ignoring it. So that pattern makes a problem. Rest every problem is very small problem. But if you're analyzing the same pattern in a bigger way, then it can help you in growing in a better way.
See, I can say simple one sentence. The faster actions, quick resolutions, the happier customer on the ground.
definitely yes.
So I would like to add what Mr. Harshal said here, that if the room is not clean, you're absolutely right. I think we can only identify through customer reviews, but eventually identifying the problem, and you need to solve it at the root cause. Now the root cause is not that your room is dirty because your person is not working correctly. That's not the root cause. The root cause is in your systems. If something is going wrong with the customer, it's not your team, it's always us. It's always the top management which is doing something wrong so that the team is not able to perform to that level. I never believe that if there's something wrong that's going on in the hotel, so for example, the room is not made up correctly, just go and change the team. No, we haven't done the right training for the team. We haven't trained up people to that level. We haven't made our checklist so strong. We haven't made the checking system so strong that the problem's happening again and again. So I think it's really important for us to identify the root cause, and then we get done with the problem once and for all.
सो लाइक डे बाय डे कस्टमर्स की नई नई एक्सपेक्टेशंस आती रहती है जैसे अब जेंजी है बहुत ज़्यादा तो उनकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस क्या होती है और उसको फुलफिल कैसे कर सकते हैं व्हाट डू यू थिंक
So, Gen Z expectations, honestly, it's a very funny topic for me. But yes, we do come across with a lot of different kinds of expectations. But as I said, it's Gen Z or Gen X or whatever. It's the guest in the end, right? So it's a no questions asked policy. Whatever they ask for, you got to give it to them if it's within your budget to give to your customer.
सो यू वांट टू शेयर सम एक्सपीरियंस बिकॉज यू वर लाफिंग तो आई थॉट कि आपको आपके दिमाग में कुछ ऐसा क्लिक तो हुआ होगा
Well, I don't think I would like to share that here on the podium, but yes, we had this thing where Gen Z came up and said, yeah, you should at late night at 1 a.m. that you should have condoms available at the front desk. I said, boss, it doesn't work that way, right? But we still tried to help and in whatever ways we could. As I said, no questions asked. We did help our guests. But yeah, we have funny instances that have happened. So
What about you, Mr.
See,
Harshal?
as a hotelier, we should understand that we cannot fulfill all the demands of the customers. That is really impossible. And we are sitting at such a remote places. Some demands are very unrealistic, and we have to respect the nature. We have to respect the norms what we are following it. So of course the Gen Z has now become very fancy, I guess. So now they want to put everything on social media. So irrespective of whatever anything is there, they want everything fancy. अगर आप उनको एक दाल चावल भी दे रहे हो ना तो उन्हें they want a proper cutlery to serve that. उन्हें दाल चावल से मतलब नहीं है.
उसका नाम अलग होना चाहिए दाल
Yeah,
चावल ही होना चाहिए
actually.
उसका नाम.
So you are getting my point. So that is the point. If you are giving them the room also, that the room should also name that ultra suite presidential suite room. It should not
Exactly,
be
yeah.
like standard room. So that has been the mindset of the people, and we should understand that. And I'm repeatedly saying that it's a changing world, and we have to adapt it. So it's a social media world, and Gen Z is totally focusing on that.
So guest experience और staff training का एक connection होता है. तो what is that connection?
I think I mentioned it earlier also. Guest experience is directly related to staff training. There's nothing else that you can do about it. Not a single person, say for example, your GM or any manager cannot do anything about it because there are so many rooms, so many people staying at different locations in your hotel, right? But if your staff is properly trained, there has to be training on soft skills. There has to be training on service skills. There's just so much. It's so vast, and I think it's not that one-time training needs to happen. These things need to be retold to your staff every day because the mindset that they come with is very different. So it's our job, it's our responsibility as hotel owners to train our staff to that level, and eventually, you know, I tell my staff that listen, the guest. I have given budget to my staff. So, okay, I'm giving you a little example. I've given a budget of rupees 500 to everybody in my whole staff, from UT to the GM level, right? That if the guest asks for something and you don't have it, you have you can go, you can buy it from the outside and you can just give it to the guest. That's been told to everyone. So that way, guest experience becomes really
It's a
magnanimous.
great USP, I would say. Like ये चीज़ एक इसको और अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस बनाता है. ऐसे ही हम एक वंडरफुल एक्सपीरियंस को क्रिएट करते हैं. तो
What we can add on this because the hotels hire the people just on the skill basis,
Yeah.
but they forget the emotional intelligence part, right? We as a company are focusing on the person is having emotional intelligence or not because that is very much important. And we are training heavily on heartiest model. People don't know how the heartiest model, that is an empathy model. Your staff should have an empathy towards the guest. They should understand the guest irrespective of whether he is from that department or not. I will just give an example. If a woman has just fallen down, and if there is a sweeper, even the sweeper should have that courtesy or that empathy in that person to just to pull that lady on a wheelchair and take her to the hospital or maybe to her room. So it's not about only the technical skills the hotel should look only before hiring the staff. There are a lot of factors which are considered now as compared to hiring process.
तो मिस्टर गुरप्रीत, यू वांट टू शेयर सम एक्सपीरियंस. आपके इतने सालों के एक्सपीरियंस में आपका कोई ऐसे मेमोरेबल एक्सपीरियंस रहा हो? फनी, आई कुड से.
See, we are in the sales. I mean, in every day we have facing the challenges, and every day there are the customers' demands. Customer new, he wants something that we cannot able to do. We have a certain policies as well. I mean, say, हर एक दिन कुछ ना कुछ होता रहता है. तो I have not specific things that we can tell you, but ये जो चीज़ें हैं हमारे साथ जनरली सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग जैसा बीइंग एड they keep on if you talk about the Gen Z they keep on if they putting something installing our tiles or in the hotels or in the commercials they will keep on complaining to me hey, sir your team is not responding properly your company is like that I will so such a challenges are there but we are discussing on this part we are evolving we are also sorting out we have a lot of systems we are now started the CRM as well complaint tracking systems which help us to track our each and every customers that complaints.
सो देर इज़ अ वर्ड स्मॉल टचेस मतलब ये हॉस्पिटैलिटी सेक्टर में काफ़ी ज़्यादा होता है जैसे नोट अगर गेस्ट आता है नमस्कार करना तो ये कितना इम्पोर्टेंट होता है ये स्मॉल टचेस
I think I we as a brand, as a company, focus on the five senses of a human being, right? Touch, smell, all of those, right? And we make sure from the moment the guest enters the hotel, you know, my first touch point is the security goes and opens the door. That's my first touch point. My second touch point is when you enter the hotel, you have to have a very nice fragrance, right? And that fragrance should never change in any of your areas. Your
Definitely.
whole hotel should smell of one fragrance, and fragrance always also the guest comes back relating your brand to that.
फ्रेग्रेंस होल्ड्स अ मेमोरी
It does hold a memory.
And also this complimentary drinks. This is small things, but it's a complimentary. So whenever the guest is entering in the hotel, you're giving the the complimentary drinks. You know that some of the guests are staying from long in the hotels. You know the historical data. You know what they require, what their needs. Based on that, we can help them what they actually want. So this I think this easily actually help.
As Sir rightly said, the drinks also make a lot of difference. So for example, I'm going to Srinagar. The first thing that comes to mind is I want to have a nice Kashmiri kawa, right? So similarly, like we are in Uttarakhand, so we make sure we have Buranj all the time. So people come and the first thing they have is Buranj juice. Like, "Arey waah, hum Uttarakhand mein aa gaye." So these things always have an impact and they get you back.
So I think sir is absolutely right in some of the ways, but I feel that what our company prefers is the right from the point the guest has done the booking. He is a guest. So so we have got now the softwares. We have got every bit of the trained staff, who are always in touch with the guest, until and unless he's already checked out from our property. So he's coming from a long way. You should always give a courtesy call. Sir, should we wait for you for the lunch or not? Those things give a big impact. When he's coming to your property, of course, the sir has said, Uttarakhand is having a great touch of Brinash juice. So, the guest likes that. So, you should give that. If he's going in the room, right, you should give a handwritten note. So that gives a personalized touch. So, if he's on a honeymoon, you should give him a honeymoon package kind of a thing. So, he should feel something special that we are having something, extraordinary apart from any other guest. If he's staying for a longer, period of time in our hotel, every single moment, you should be there with the guest to make him special. And that's what we are focusing on. Even if he's, he has checked out, there should be a courtesy, thank you message from our side, a courtesy call from our side. These all things matter. And people, think that, ab to guest gaya to just let him go. But these things matter. And we have to focus on these things now.
सो आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड विद बिकॉज जब हम बाहर जाते हैं तो हम एक अपने कंफर्ट जोन से निकल के जाते हैं अपने घर से बाहर निकल के जाते हैं तो हम जब वहाँ किसी भी होटल में जाते हैं तो हमें वो घर जैसा फील होना चाहिए
एक्सपीरियंस आना चाहिए आपको
एक्सपीरियंस आना चाहिए यस सो आप कोई मैसेज या कोई भी चीज़ या शेयर करना चाहेंगे बिकॉज वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम एनीथिंग
Sorry, I would like to differ on that. घर जैसा नहीं लगना चाहिए, होटल जैसा ही लगना चाहिए, luxury feel होनी चाहिए because you should feel like a king. See, the whole idea of getting any guest back is you make the person feel like a king. He should not have to move his finger. घर पे उंगली हिलानी पड़ती है, खड़े होके पानी का ग्लास पीना पड़ता है, यहाँ नहीं होना चाहिए. You should not have to get up from your bed.
So हमें हमेशा ये सिखाया जाता है. अब I don't know कि वो चीज़ें चेंज हो रही हैं और हमें उसको अडेप्ट करनी पड़ेंगी. Home away from home. That is what we have been taught in an hotel management, right? लेकिन अब ये चीज़ें नहीं है. अब गेस्ट आता है, जैसे सर ने कहा, he should feel like a king. अगर आप उसको एक किंग की फीलिंग दे रहे हैं अपने होटल के अंदर, he is completely satisfied with your services, you have done a great job. And I think so that is the great thing for an hotel to do.
Definitely, definitely. So, like,
Can we clap together, everyone? And let's conclude this session.
thank you so much. Any
I've-
any questions or anything?
Any questions, anyone?
No questions.
Okay. So I would request Mr. Vikram Vicky to please come up on the stage and let's felicitate our speakers. Thank you so much for a lovely session. And that too after lunch. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's take a group photo together. Thank you so much. Thank you.